Welcome to the Bracket Factory and welcome to the latest thrilling episode, which is all about a new acquisition for the Bracket Factory. Now, if you've been following the channel, you'll know that we've got a 1921 Ner-a-Car that we've been working on and bringing back from the dead. Good progress has been made. It rolls, it stops, it steers, we've got a working engine, but the focus just recently has been very much on the big V12 project and remains so until the engine is in the chassis. However, something else cropped up, and that something else is another 1921 Ner-a-Car. Now, I wasn't really in the market for another one. However, when I saw this, I just couldn't resist it, and you'll see why. So we're on the road again, and after a very long drive, we found ourselves in Scotland. Yay! And that is because we're on a very exciting little mission to go and collect something new for the Bracket Factory. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking there's not enough space in the Bracket Factory for anything else, but this thing is not all that big. And it is rather special, so we're heading there to get it now. So after about 8 hours, we got there and we met John, a very nice chap who'd owned this bike for over 50 years, and I got to see it in the flesh for the first time. So this is it, this is the bike, 1921 Ner-a-Car.
Can you remind me I finished, mate?
2 owners from you. So after loading the bike into the trusty Bracketmobile, which it swallowed whole by the way, John told us the story of how he came by the bike.
My father was a minister, and this church had a large hall with pendant lights, and there was 3 out or something, and they were high off the ground, you know. And one of the elders said, "How can we get this?" He said, "If we get my trestles down," he's a painter, "get my trestles down," he says, "Oh, we can do it. But I don't know how to get the trestles down, we're half a mile away." I said, "Oh, I'll bring my trailer." So I took them down. Since I was the youngest, I was volunteered to go up. And did the job and came back and took them back up, and he said, "What do you use the trailer for?" I said, "That's for my motorbike. You'll be interested in this," he says. And it was covered with carpets and onions and things like that. And there was an old guy with us, Jimmy Renton. He says, "I know that bike." He says, "I've been in the back of it." He says, "That's Hunter Kennedy's. His widow lives up the road. I'll go and see if she wants it. She'll give you it." So he just went up the road, and she said she didn't know it existed. Take it away.
Oh wow,
It always happens to somebody else, doesn't it?
Yeah, excellent. So the Ner-a-Car is now being picked up, and if that's not enough excitement for the day, we're now off to stay with some friends, and he's got a very interesting workshop, and I think we're going to get a guided tour. Wow, lots of big bridges. So we did go further north, and we did stay at our friends, and we did see the workshop, and we did see a rather special car. Now, I was going to do a short video of that car in this video, but to be honest, it's just too good. So I decided to do another video all about it, which is out now. So go and check that out when you finish watching this. So we're on the way back down to the Bracket Factory now. It's a long way, it's about 600 miles. And we are in the trusty steed, which is the Bracketmobile, but we have to interrupt this broadcast because we're reaching a very significant milestone for the Bracketmobile, and that is 400,000 miles. Yes, indeed, 400,000 miles. And then I thought it'd make it past 300,000, but looks like we might just get there. So we're going to keep an eye on the tacho and see if we can see it in. So not long now. So 39999. 1 mile to go. Half a mile to go. 0.1. We're getting there. Oh, yay! 400,000. Yeah, baby. 400,000 done. Next milestone, 500,000. Let's crack on. So we're now back safe and sound, and the bike has been unloaded, and it's time to take a good look at it. But I have to apologise in advance because I think I might be saying the word original quite a lot. So let's take a look. So here it is, and as I said, very, very original. We've got the original Ner-a-Car transfers on it, paintwork, albeit, you know, rusty, as you might expect for 102 years old, 103 years old, is all completely original. It's had no, it's the early Model A, so it's got no, it's only got a single back brake, but it's completely untouched. So untouched, in fact, that it has the original back tyre, Dunlop cord motorcycle heavy. I think we may have to change that, regrettably, but quite interesting. It's had very little use, I think about 5 years in the 1920s, so nothing's worn out, unlike the other bike, and thus explains the original back tyre. This is quite interesting. This is the original number plate, and the number plate is part of the rear stand. It's actually riveted to it, and this font is fantastic, almost a sort of Gothic font. This is also interesting. This is the carbide lamp. It's both carbide and electric, and this just here and here is the carbide acetylene holder. The pipe that connects the two is gone, probably perished 80 years ago, so I need to replace that, but it'd be quite nice to get that up and running and see if it works. This is quite nice. This is the sort of a metal box with a leather interior, good for keeping, you know, spares, spark plug, etc. Of course, the lovely and comfortable Ner-a-Car saddle, and unlike my other one, these springs are all nice and tight, not all flopping and worn out. There's been a few comments on the last video about the fact that the saddle rests on top of the fuel tank. This, of course, is completely original and how it's meant to be. This is, you know, the tank forms a structural part of the bike. This is quite nice. This is the Lodge spark plug cap and a Lodge spark plug. Even these cables are completely original, as is the hand controller here. That's the air and fuel. This cover is held on by this big wing nut, so I think you probably have to untake the top of the carb out to actually get the thing off. So let's whip this off and have a look inside, shall we? So we can now see what's going on inside. This, of course, is our drive pulley, which goes from side to side, and everything is in really nice condition. There's barely any wear on this. It's nice to see that it turns over quite easily. Here we've got this peculiar brake which acts off the front handlebar grip, and that's a transmission brake because it's only got one back brake. Apparently it was completely useless. This is the fuel line just here. This is obviously the cable for this transmission brake. It's of course very, very nice to see the kickstarts, because of course this is what's missing from my other bike, and I need to make one of these. And you can see the spring arrangement and the sort of quadrant down there that works. Obviously we've got the original carb on here. All very, very nice to see. Now this wiring here, this is because the previous owner, John, fitted a coil to it because the magneto coil had packed up, which is incredibly common. all my engines have got a Duff magneto. Maybe that I've repair that, I'm not sure. But all I need to do, I think, is connect a battery down there somewhere, and I should be able to get a spark out of it. These brackets here are where a pump used to go. Be nice to find a pump to put on there. This is quite nice. This is like a little aluminium trim which is missing from the other bike. Now this is really cool. This is a switch, switching the lights on and off. And it's got a plate there. I don't know how original that plate is, but it's got a switch there. I must admit, I don't know what that is. We'll have to work that out. So it's good to see that it's got the under tray, because that's missing on the other bike, and of course it's got the exhaust system which is missing on the other bike, which I need to fabricate. This is a nice detail here. This is the little grease nipple and cap which goes on these front pivots. Slightly different design to the other bike. These are interesting. These apparently aren't original, but were fitted in period, so they just give a bit more protection of the sort of elements and road crud for the rider. So it's essentially just a very, very honest, straight and original bike, and it's fantastic having another one because it serves as a fantastic reference for the other bike. And it also means that we've now got two, so it means we can do that sport of Ner-a-Car racing. So there you have it, 1921 Ner-a-Car, 2 owners from new, completely unmolested, unrestored, untouched. So maybe you can see why I couldn't resist it. So what next? Well, of course we have to try and start it. It's not been started for 20 years, but I'm hoping that's a mere formality. We'll see. But the main event, of course, is going to be riding it. And with the help of my trusty test pilot, Nat, also my wife, we'll be exploring that in great detail. And that's going to be lots of fun. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit subscribe, because we're going to be doing that fairly soon. So if you like that, please do hit like. Please do leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you want to support the channel, please consider getting one of these t-shirts. Don't forget it's Christmas coming up. So a good time to buy a Christmas present for your husband, boyfriend, wife, girlfriend, or even grandma. In fact, first person to send me a picture of a grandma wearing one of these t-shirts wins a prize. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it'll be very good. Anyway, that's all for now, so thanks for watching.